Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ophola, your host from opholamedia. I'm chilling here with Mr. Daniel from the south side. I'm from the east side in Cape Town. So tonight we're gonna be having a conversation about a number of topics. It's a first opholamedia podcast. It's a first episode, and I'm here with the good Mr. Daniel. How do you do, D?
The big O. Man, thanks, man. Yo, real pleasure to be on the show representing the southern suburbs. What's up? The epicenter. Yeah, but yeah, guys, stay home, stay safe. Social distance, wear masks, all of that. We're gonna beat this thing. Otherwise, I'm good, man. How are you? How's lockdown treating you, man?
Man, I'm okay, man. I've been chilling at home, working from home, which is something I always wanted to do. It had to take the coronavirus for some people to see that we can do everything from home. So I'm happy with that part. But the only thing that I'm not happy about is not being able to go out to where I would like to go to whenever I want to because of this COVID-19, this corona beer of yours that you like so much. But anyways, I'm staying well. I'm staying safe. I'm eating healthy. I'm trying to do everything that I can. Today actually I was at the mall. And yeah, I saw a lot of people and I felt like I touched the corona somewhere there when I was getting the items from the shop. Man, I'm not feeling so well. I want to sanitize my hands, I don't want to talk to a lot of people, just keep your distance from me, It's bad out here, man. It's bad.
Hey, sometimes you don't even let a pandemic, make us down, bring us down. Always find the human, everything small that time.
We cannot allow the pandemic down, man. We have to keep it moving. Yeah, everybody must stay safe, stay at home as much as you can. Okay, so guys, tonight is the first episode of the opholamedia podcast. It's a podcast sessions. So today we're gonna be talking about a number of topics. We're gonna be talking about the guys that play in the NBA that are also rappers. Yeah, okay, that's what we're gonna be covering. And then we're gonna talk about the NBA. How are they gonna finish off the season during this pandemic? So what is gonna happen to the NBA? What are they planning? Okay. And then we're gonna talk about the situation in the United States. Black Lives Matter. If you know, over the past week, a guy was murdered by cops.
Wearing
George
black,
Floyd.
representing the movement.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah. My black is lighter. I'm trying to relate to the other guys. So we're gonna be talking about that George Floyd matter. So yeah, man. Starting with our first topic, Mr. D. On my side, I am going to be discussing a little about the current active players in the NBA that are rapping. So I've got 9 guys, and then I'll be discussing my top 3 a bit. I'm not going to be taking a long time. I don't want to waste your time, okay? So I don't know what you have on your side when it comes to this topic.
For me, I think the most popular artist in terms of the NBA is obviously Damian Lillard. I'm sure a lot of people have heard his tracks. I think he's a really, really good rapper. Him, Iman Shumpert. I think the big vice, not necessarily vice, but the employers. Organizations. The only person I can think of is Damian Lillard. His organization, the Trailblazers, have spoken out about how they're behind him, rapping and how he uses free time, and you can see the big sensitive topic around NBA players doing other things outside of playing ball or promoting other things is will it affect what they do on the court? And literally shown that just this season he was averaging 40 a game at a point. He's obviously putting up MVP numbers, and he shows that so long as you just focus on whatever you actually want to do, you can do that. Rapping. You should think. If we go back, I don't know. I wish I had more examples. But if you go back, most of these guys do come from inner cities where, hip hop music has just been around basketball. Look at Jay-Z, for example. His influence in music and sport, I believe it's all meshed together. I feel like you can't divorce the two. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, that's what I have.
Okay. Okay, so from my side, I did make up a list of like the current guys because obviously from the past guys like Shaq, they also used to do it. Kobe is also as well. He also did rap a bit. So I had like 9 guys here at the bottom of my chain. I've got LeBron James. He's okay. He's not the best. And then I've got Andre Drummond. Then I've got Lance Stevenson, Eman Shumpert, the one you spoke about, Lou Williams, Kevin Durant, KD himself. Yeah. And then when I get into my top 3, Lonzo Ball used to play for the Lakers. His dad also used to play that side. I do like his music. He can flow. His listen is also great, and the guy, his voice is also good. So like he can put his thoughts into voice, like whatever he's thinking, he can put it down and talk about it. Like the subject matter is always keeping about his sport and family and stuff like that. So I do like Lonzo. And then, Marvin Bagley as well. He's also good. He just needs to work on his hooks. And he also comes through those double entendres that you hear from Jay-Z. He can also go into that land as well. And then, as you said, the main guy is Dame Dollar. Damian Lillard. He's the best. I don't see anybody who's better than him from the NBA at the moment. So, yeah, man. He's a storyteller. He's better than most out there, as you said as well. Like, you think he's the best. I also think he's the best. And, yeah, man. And he also considers himself as the best. Like, he's challenging the other rappers that are on the mainstream because, these days rap is so diverse. You've got your hardcore rappers, like the backpack rappers.
Yeah,
and then you've got guys on the
your
mainstream.
underground, your storytellers, your
Yeah.
Nas's, your Nipsey's,
Yeah, those guys. Yeah,
you've
those
got your
guys.
trap artists, your Travis, your Quavo.
And then you've got the trap guys.
I don't know where you can box in Drake. Yeah, I feel like Drake's an artist, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, I will cover that topic some other time.
But you do get that sort of style with the falsetto, maybe softer tune, easy on the ear, almost like an R&B pop feel to it.
There's Tory Lanez as well.
Let's not fool ourselves.
Yeah. And then remember, it's Rizzy who told you before that the players and the rappers are synonymous because the rappers want to be players of basketball and the basketball players want to be rappers. He said they want to be us, we want to be them. You know what I'm saying? So you can see that. A guy like LeBron, he doesn't need to rap, but he does try it out sometimes, He's not maybe doing it for money, but he's just showing you guys, hey, I can also do this. You know what I mean? Because it's something that I grew up on, so you can't stop me from doing it. And you also see your rappers like Quavos and them, they usually compete. They have some contests, and then they try to check out who's the best.
Yeah, like the celebrity games, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't he win the MVP or something of the All-Star celebrity game?
I think Quavo was one of the best. Guys there. So yeah, it's
the sweet left.
It is intertwined, as you said as well. Okay, and then Mr. D, moving on to the second topic, man. I wanted to create a headline for you here.
Yeah.
About finishing off the NBA. So there was one that said that the NBA is in talks to resume the season in July at Walt Disney World Resort. NBA in talks to resume season at Walt Disney World Resort. The NBA is in the early stages of discussions with the Walt Disney Company to restart its suspended season in late July at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida, a league spokesman said on Saturday. So they said that they want to start off with 22 teams. So how would you feel like if the guys you're playing against are in the same hotel as you? Because I think they've got like 18 hotels there. So I don't know how they're going to be housing the teams, maybe 2 teams at a hotel or whatever. I don't know. So how would you feel like as a player if your opponent is sleeping upstairs, Like you see this guy every day, in 2 days' time, you're going to play against each other. How does that affect the spirit of competition? Because, in the NBA, you're going to have an away game, a home game. So now the away team suffers a bit because they have to fly to another city, They have to acclimatize to the conditions there and shit like that. Get to know, like, the people, like, they will meet up with people. Maybe some people will hate them when they see them at the mall. Those are the Blazers, because it's the opposition. Now, you're all in the same hotel, eating the same food, whatever. Maybe you might have your own program of eating food and the others have theirs. So how would you feel like if you see this guy every day, but you know you want to take that guy down because he said something about you on the press, something that was negative. Now you're going to play against him in 2 days' time. Are you going to be worked up to fight him now? You know, like the boxers, when they go on the scale, like they want to fight now, but the fight is actually in 2 weeks' time? Or are you going to be chill? Like, no, it's competition. It's good competition.
You know, and I also saw them peddling that idea because I'm sure we all know the why they can't just cancel the season. There's too many deals with contractors and TV rights about the broadcast rights of games. If they just cancel the season, you know, a lot of third parties are gonna be in real big trouble, of fiscal trouble. And I guess we also want to, you know, keep the players safe. I think the main agenda for the league is keeping all the players safe. Now, if we have a situation where, okay, we resume the season, but there'll still be inter-traveling in between, they obviously can't mitigate the transmission, and it'll probably increase the likelihood, obviously, of transmission and all of that. And we already know USA is leading the world in the rate of transmission. So I'm glad the league is, they're putting the players' safety first. Yeah, you're right. Well, it would have like an all-star game feel to it, you know, when all the players are around
The
in
family
one,
season.
you know, one family, one locale. I believe like they won't have any family around them as well or something. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It will have a sort of all-star game feel to it. So like, sure, when you know you're walking around and you're like, Paul George, kind of we playing it just now vibes, and then you play, and then I will catch dinner afterwards. Ish.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, how that dynamic will work because I'm sure at the forefront for the league is they want to, you know, just protect the players first. You know, just have one court, then you just have your scheduled times. I'll be lucky to play actually in the local league and SA, and we have the arrangement where you just, you know, everyone plays in one venue, and yeah, you play your game. Then afterwards, yeah, you can obviously, you know, mingle, interact with your opponent, and I feel like there was never real competition loss in something of that sort. Um, yeah, I feel like it'll probably be the same. These guys are all professionals. I don't know how the playoff will work. So they're talking about the top 16 or something. Then East versus
Yeah.
West will be mixed. 1 versus 16, 2 through 7, 2 through 15. You know, and that's sort of scaling order.
Yeah.
It'll be actually pretty interesting. Look, all the players will be fresh, so there'll be nothing like we had to travel and playing on a back to back. No, everybody's gonna be in the same area, fit. You come to the game. There won't be. I'm sure they can even be playing more games, maybe every day now. But yeah, I don't know. How did they say anything how practice is gonna work? Because I'm sure. I mean, TV sessions, for example, they obviously can't all be in the hotel. Because I mean, they can obviously have a situation where they could maybe potentially spy and see what they're gonna draw up, try counter whatever the opposing team wants to try and do. You know, to get the edge over them. Yeah, if ever, I think something like that probably has to be something of arrangement of at least max 2 teams per hotel. If there's 18, and it's what 32 teams.
Yeah,
Well,
they
that's
said
like
they
max of
wanted to cut it.
36. Yeah, 2 teams, and then
They were saying they
maybe
wanted to cut it
depends on
down
the
to
format. You
22.
can have one team from East, one from West.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they wanted to cut it
Pardon?
to 22. The first proposal was to cut it to 22 teams. So do you feel like the competition is going to be watered down a bit and then the champions are not going to be worthy champions like previous seasons?
I mean, look, LeBron won just off the top of my head, won his first title in the 60-game season, and there was a lockout that year in 2012. If most people remember, there was a lockout till about Christmas. This is not the first time the NBA has been stalled. Funny enough, we only had 60 games that year, 66 games, and the Heat won. No one talks about how they only played 60 games and still go crown champions.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it was outside of their doing. So, I mean, look, these circumstances, you don't really plan for them, eh? We wish. And then now there's already problems with the 82 game season. It's already a lot of games, 82. I mean, and the
Too much.
three
Yeah.
games a week, back to backs. It's actually really too much. So, and like you play the East teams twice, you play your local division 4 times, maybe 3 times. You play other teams that are still in the West but not in your division. I mean, do we need so many games? Why must it be so
To
drawn out?
bring in a champion.
I mean,
Yeah.
and So I don't know. Look, I look from my own personal view, they should just finish the season. Obviously, I mean, nobody planned for something like this, but yeah, we do miss sports sitting at home. We're glad at least Bundesliga is back. I found myself watching Leverkusen the other day. Leverkusen and what's that team called? Um, I forgot this team,
I
Mainz or
didn't check
something.
that
I
game.
think it was Mainz.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
it's
the
mine.
2-1 Leo. Yeah, it was against Mainz, the 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss sport. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it'd be definitely weird what's not having fans, you know. Yeah, maybe you do
not the
lose maybe
same.
a bit of an edge, you know. It'll feel like maybe like some sort of, you know, I don't know, feel like some sort of practice game, but at the same time, you know, when I was watching that Bundesliga game, I was watching the Bayern game as well, the Bayern Dortmund game.
Oh, Bayern and Dortmund game, yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever
the
that.
play, yeah, the players like when it's like that, no, there's no fans. They're not scared to like, you know, try things, do tricks. So like, you know, have like a nice, you know, playground feel. Everybody's just playing and like you just
Man.
you're not worried about making a mistake or something like that. You know, the confidence might even be more. You'll see the players that we'll probably see on the rotation on the sideline or never get minutes, be getting minutes and like not scared to play, doing their thing, showing us why only 300 players actually make it to the league. There's
Nah,
a
but
lot of
I
exactly
feel
these players that sit on the bench actually good, but we'll
no,
see.
I feel like players should actually be doing those tricks in front of the fans. Why are they scared of the fans? But it's all right. You know,
That's a psychology thing, I believe. I mean, you make a
it's
mistake, they
definitely,
start booing or they start hissing or they start whistling, and now
man,
I
I'm
remember I was
telling you,
watching.
if you're
Yeah,
making it to that level of the league, then it means that you must be ready for anything. You know, you are playing at the national platform, so you should be ready for anything that gets thrown your way. You know, psychologically, you must
just
always be. So yeah, I was
it's
telling you,
right.
I was watching before the lockdown started. I was watching a Juve Inter game, the biggest game of the season in Italy, and man, it felt so awkward. Eh? Like it was a nice game, but it was very awkward because you know when it's an Inter Juve game, the fans, you know, the media, they cover the game and shit like that. By the time by the time the game starts, it's all tensions, man. The anticipation. You want to see who's gonna win this game, and maybe whoever wins this game is gonna become champions. You know. But now it was like a training session that day. I was like, what is this? So yeah, I also watched the game for like 15 minutes, like in Germany, Leverkusen. I can't remember who they were playing. But nah, man, I'm not feeling it. But anyways, we have to do what we have to do because now the time is calling for that because of this pandemic that we have across the globe. But we're glad that the football is gonna come back to the TVs.
And basketball at least. Yeah, at least, and then what they're gonna say the regular season might start. The next one might start in December, maybe even Jan. So what's gonna happen to that season? Will they shorten that? Will they shift the calendar? You know, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but I'm sure Adam Silver would do what's right.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
already
might
shift.
even potentially have two shortened, maybe
Yeah,
two
they
shortened
already.
seasons. I don't know how the collective bargaining also is gonna work. You know,
I think
free
for
agency, they might
yeah,
the draft.
yeah. Yeah, man, it's tough, man. It's tough. When it comes to the European football season, they already shifted the Euros to 2021. It was supposed to take place around June this winter, summer in Europe. So they've already shifted that. And then for the NBA as well, I think they're going to have the same problem. Like they will have a shortened season now, but
Yeah,
then for next season it
yeah,
was start a bit later, and they will try to combine,
yeah.
make a plan to make sure that the season gets done. Okay. Okay, I guess we're done with that topic. So, Mr. D, now let's talk about the real shit, man. Black Lives Matter
Oh,
in the United States. Actually, Black Lives Matter across the world, even here in South Africa.
all lives
But
matter.
it's just that it's not high. It's not highlighted as much. It does happen if you go, let's say, to Long Street, and then you happen to be a black person. They don't allow you in the club with your friends. Then there's gonna be like some sort of an uprising. But if you go to
I
say
can think of a few clubs.
so now if you go say to somewhere in Brackenfell where there are guys that are loyal to that place, to that spot, and then they see this dark guy and his girl, or this dark guy and his friend, what the hell are they doing here? No, sir, you're not allowed. It's only loyal customers that are allowed. So we've experienced that in South Africa. I have experienced racism many times. sometimes it's under the surface. They don't tell it straight to your face, but you can just put one and one together. That is a bit racist, okay? So now throughout the globe, wherever you go, a black man cannot stay in peace at his own continent, and then he can't be in peace at the other continents. So now in the United States, I know from their history, there's been a struggle there from way back. But now it's just that these kids nowadays, they are fed up. It's like the South African kids during Fees Must Fall. They said, fuck that shit, we are going in. So it's a similar thing in the US. People have had enough. After that George Floyd video that people saw, they thought, no, this is nonsense, this is bullshit. We've had enough. I don't know how many times we've witnessed in America, black men being treated like shit. Like if you go to a shop and then they start tagging you, okay, he looks like somebody who's gonna steal. And then let's say you are staying at some luxury loft and then they're like, he cannot be staying here. I was watching a video this morning of an American woman following this black guy. Like, where are you going? The guy is at the door. And the lady is asking him, where do you stay? Where are you going? He's like, no. You're not the owner of this place. Don't ask me where I be staying. Why you wanna be stalking me? She's like, no, I don't trust that you stay here, whatever. I wanna see where you stay. I'll stay at 3, whatever. Where are you going? The guy said, please leave me alone. He actually had the camera on her face. Leave me alone, because they know what's gonna happen. When the police come, they're gonna say, okay, you the suspect. They don't ask shit. He's the suspect, he's black. Without asking what happened. A black guy is gonna be arrested first without even knowing what actually had occurred. So the guy walked up the stairs, got to his place, opened with his key, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, no, this is wrong. You should never do this again. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's embarrassing. So that thing happens a lot, man. Even at the stores, man, if black guys are walking somewhere in the hood, in some rich neighborhood, like they're going to be tagged. What are they doing here? They need to be arrested. Or even if 2 guys are fighting, a black and a white guy, they're going to arrest the black guy without even asking what happened. Who's the wrong one? They don't want to know. They take the black guy, put him in cuffs, and then they will understand later what is the actual issue here. So, Mr. D, what do you think of all this uprising that's happening in the cities in America?
Yeah, I just want to start. Just condolences to George Floyd, his family. I saw his daughter recently in one of those Insta videos. Yeah, just condolences to them. Yeah, really, really brutal situation in the wake of a global pandemic. We didn't need. I'm sure all social distancing clauses have been broken now. We just hope they recover from it. But yeah, onto the subject matter. Nah, police brutality. Yeah, it's a pretty hectic topic. I've been fortunate to go to the States, but I mean, I've never been in a situation whereby I've had an encounter with the police. But I mean, this is not the first time. I mean, we've seen this. Sadly to say, we had Trayvon Martin. Now you have George Floyd, just to name a few.
Ghana.
It's been an ongoing thing. Yeah, him as well. Him, male blacks. I don't know what the portfolio really is. It's really disappointing considering that we're now in 2020 as well. But I think the people, from what I've seen, also what's really been warming is how everyone is just rallied and trying to go about it in a very peaceful, towards some degree, very peaceful. You can say 80% peaceful. I mean, obviously you saw a bit of lootings in Minnesota as well. Don't know.
Everywhere.
Obviously,
Everywhere.
yeah, okay, looting.
The looting was everywhere.
Someone always takes advantage. But if you look at like the protests just outside the White House, for example, it's just placards, and it's probably like the best way to mostly to approach these things. I was reading this letter by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he sent it yesterday about how it's always there. It's in the air, it's in the dust. This thing has always been there. It's just when I don't know, but he put it in such a poetic way about how if you don't shine on it or shine like the light on the dust, you'll never see it or you'll never notice it. Only when you bring it up, that's when you see it. And unfortunately, you know, people have always been complaining about how this has been going on, but like no one has really shed light till now. We have this video of him in the action. I think it's the fact that we have it in action. It's a 6-minute clip, and it's the guy doing it. And uh, yeah, I also read Obama's response as well. His response was also very profound. It really resonated with me about how, you know, our brothers are right to protest, and we also should believe in the Constitution and how the Constitution actually has been formed by uprisings like this. So something like this will obviously bring change. If you look at how there are ways, platforms to go about this changing or sort of reform and all of that, bringing about reform. But yeah, it's really sad, really. You know, I guess the best is to continue to unite. It's good to see the globe, everybody, you know, uniting and just rallying behind this sort of cause. I mean, it's a small step, obviously. There's still a long way to go. There's a lot of intermediary things that have to happen, but you know, it's a start. And yeah, um, very interesting times that we're living in. But just to maybe speak to SA, I remember I also, you know, do my daily, you know, checking up on Google News, and I don't know, someone posted an article. I don't know, I can't remember where, highlighting the rights that you have, like when you're at a roadblock. I think for me, yeah, it's usually at roadblocks. I find that certain people driving certain cars, you know, don't get stopped for some reason.
Okay.
For some reason, and you're in the same area, leaving these areas in the same places at the same times, but it's you get stopped for some reason. Imagine you're leaving town, for example, and you're going past the N2, or even you decide, not, I'm just go up main. Maybe 2 cars ahead of you go past. You know, usually maybe an A01 Audi. People are leaving certain clubs like you know, Catwalk or something. They drive past, but when it's you leaving certain other clubs in and around town, you get stopped for some reason. For some reason, around about the same time, and
Yeah.
they're a bit more thorough with your search, if I may say. You know, they do everything, and like yeah. And now, so yeah, in the wake of that, I now read about my rights, so I cannot be just searched anymore. I did not know that some of these things for some reason aren't readily available. This information, I'm glad they've been brought to light now. So part of the reform I was talking about. So yeah, you can't just be searched now. Apparently, you actually have, the guy must actually have a warrant, or the she must actually have a warrant to search your car if you have alcohol on you.
Okay.
But it's a shame that, you know, it has to come to tragedy for us to actually learn that the way we've been doing things isn't particularly right, or we've tolerated it for too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to note some things from my side. Okay. It's very ironic for China. China made a comment, the government, saying, oh, what's happening in the United States is wrong. But I'm like, you guys just chased out some African guys recently. You said they are not welcome in China. So what are you talking about? How can the cattle point at the port? You know, these guys recently, I think about a month back, they were chasing the African guys out of the country, like they need to get the fuck out of it. They don't belong there. Okay. So I was finding that very ironic. Okay. And then another thing, in an African context, I think we as Africans, we have a problem. We've been brainwashed so much that we have like an inferior complex. Like we feel like we're inferior to the Caucasians, the white people. Because for instance, if you go to a shop, you are in a queue, and then the white lady in front of you gets helped, she's gonna be greeted in a very nice way. Hey ma'am, how are you doing? Do you want me to pack it? What do you want? Must I smile? What must I do? Must I jump? And then D, the guy after the lady, just look at you, check your savings. Not the same energy. Why do we do that? I think it starts, like for instance, in South Africa, when something goes bad, like, oh, umdomnyama, meaning the black person. And then if it's something good, the umlungu, the white person. That's bad. We need to unlearn that. We need to teach the kids that are coming up to unlearn that so that they can know that they get equal. all people are equal. It's the same thing. An African brother comes to South Africa. Oh, he's a foreigner. What is he doing? Meh, meh, meh. But a guy from Belgium, he's white. He comes to South Africa. He's welcome. What do you want? How can we help you? We need to unlearn all those things and know that all people are the same and every African is welcome at any African country. That's what we need to do, I feel like. Okay. And then another thing I wanted to highlight, I feel like Obama did disappoint me a bit during his tenure as a president, because some of these cases like George Floyd did happen during his reign, but he did not do enough to ensure that cops know if you are brutal to citizens unnecessarily, that are not fighting or that do not want to be, that are resisting being arrested, you will be punished. So this thing has been going on for the longest time in America. Maybe during his tenure, they could have tried to do something to instill the mentality to say that, guys, if you do this to people, you're going to be in trouble. Because these guys, man, I promise you, they see guys randomly, they start pushing them and whatever without doing anything. The guy hasn't done nothing. Maybe, for instance, there was that 8-year-old kid that was arrested for selling water. She's 8. She's trying to be a businesswoman. She's trying to be an entrepreneur. But now, what are you doing to her dreams? And then another lady, the white lady, calls cops to come and arrest the girl. She's only 8 years old. She's a kid. What's wrong with you? Okay. So another thing I heard on the streets, man, people are complaining. I say, why is Kanye not saying anything? Okay. So I thought about this. Ye, the greatest, man. Ye has been raising these issues, highlighting these issues, saying that we need to think about the future. The business is with them white people. We need to rally together as black people and support each other, you know? And then he's trying to tell them, guys, I'm equal to Louis Vuitton. I'm so and so. Then people say, Kanye is wilding. He's getting crazy. But he was not. He was trying to say we need to change our mindset and see ourselves as equals. Now he is not saying anything. People are complaining. What must he say, Mr. Daniel? What must he say?
You know, Ye, man. Ye, he'll say whatever he wants. He's probably even making a song that time. He's like,
No, but what was he
I
saying
mean,
during this time?
all these things. I mean, all these, these people, when they bring these ideas up, they sound crazy at the time. I mean, I remember when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee
Yeah,
to the
Cap, yeah.
American flag back in 2015. This guy was like one of the best quarterbacks. He was off a Super Bowl final appearance there with the 49ers. And then he came, he's like, bro, there's too much violence going on. I'm taking a knee. 2015, he was what? He was kicked out of the league. Man, all these funny things happen to him now. You see all these sports teams kneeling in unity with the movement that he started. Well, no, not started, but maybe perpetuated, propagated even more. So I mean, all these I call them geniuses, because I mean, all these people that saw these things, when we didn't see them or didn't probably take it as seriously then. Now coming to the fold. So it's kudos to them. Now I can understand why they're quiet. It's like, but I've been saying this for I don't know for how long.
Yeah, what
But it's
was I
fine,
saying? Yeah.
I'm sure they're happy somewhere. I mean, I'm sure I'm happy now, but they're probably happy. Like finally, everybody's now seen what I was talking about,
All along.
and all along. But yeah, I mean, what's there to say? I mean, well, they've been saying this for so long, but what we call them crazy or something.
Yeah, man. I just want to highlight the Kanye topic because somebody was complaining on Facebook saying that Kanye is not saying anything now. He only benefits from black people when it suits him. I'm like, man, come on. These guys, they only, some people have selective reading and selective hearing. They don't look at the history of a person. They only choose certain aspects. Okay, this one and this one, let's combine. Because I mean, like, if I were to talk about Kanye, man, it would be an entire episode of the things that he has done and said, for black people and about black people fighting against the system. So now people, they must just leave Ye alone, man. He's the greatest, man. Just leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Mr. D, I think that's about it. Any final thoughts from your side?
Nah, nothing from my side. Yeah, man, just stay home, stay safe. We'll beat this thing. Everything will go back to normal.
Okay, that's
That's
good,
all.
Mr. D. Yeah, man. The curve, man. The curve is worrying us. You know what I mean? Because in South Africa, we haven't even reached the peak yet. We are still getting there. So yeah, I hope more people are gonna be more cautious, you know, and make sure that they stay safe and stay at home as much as you can. I know it's not nice, but try to do it for the sake of yourself and other people, and for the sake of all people, the kids, the future generations. Yeah, and our South Africa is also a bit of a mess now. They want to take the kids back to school during this pandemic, and then there was an announcement recently saying that if you're less than 50 without an underlying sickness, then you are not going to be tested. You should be able to cure from the corona. So yeah, there's a whole lot of things happening. It's crazy. So yeah, it's very important to stay safe. Okay, guys, thank you for joining us on the pod for our first episode. The channel on YouTube is Ophola Media, Media. Same. What do I call it? Same letter. What do you call it? D? The same word. Yeah, same word. Also hashtag Ophola Media, OPHOLA Media. So that's a channel on YouTube. We're also on Instagram, Ophola Media, Twitter, Ophola Media, TikTok, Ophola Media, Facebook, Ophola Media. Where else? Yeah. So please subscribe to all those channels and follow, like, comment, and yeah, and then keep it moving. Okay. D, thanks a lot for joining us, my man. Okay, guys. Thank
Cheers,
you
my man.
Okay. Take care, man. Thanks for watching the episode, guys. Cheers. Shit. Okay, we'll edit this one out. Where's the fucking record?